Definitely need to get some Marmite, that's for sure. Well, that's not on our list now, is it? Imagine if I gave her a fruit, she'd be like, no, not this one. But it'd be the fruit that she basically picked and put into the basket, you know? Ah! Domizard and Dehya, how are ya? Hello. I mean, I'm not surprised to see Dehya since I'm doing their mission, but I'm quite surprised to see Domizard here. Nice to see that you're doing well.
ボディーガードの仕事を辞めただけで喧嘩したってわけじゃないんだぜ。ドニアザードとはいい友達だからな。風魔駅はまだ人手を募集してるし、報酬も手厚い。私にしたって仲間たちにしたって断る理由はないだろう。
Why do I feel like Bodyguard seems like a very modernized version of Japanese, you know? I mean, if it was written, it would sound probably something different, basically, but said, it seems a bit modern. Because I can't imagine, like, old Japanese being kind of, like, used as a form of English in a certain way, you know? Like, it's actually quite surprising when I hear that an awful lot of people don't know how to write kanji. It's quite surprising, actually. Although, it's not a surprise, really. It's kind of like, say, learning that, you know... Well, you can think of kanji kind of like what Anglo-Saxon is to us English, basically. You know, it's a language before English even became a thing, really, you know? I mean, hell, we weren't even seen as English until, like, William the Conqueror was basically put on the throne in, like, 1066, you know, so... That language of Anglo-Saxon is basically in the past, in a certain sense. Although now that I'm thinking that, like, the Cornish lot down the west coast of England, I'm thinking... That's gotta be a form of Anglo-Saxon of some sort, or maybe it's a type of like Pike language or Gaelic of some sort. I'm not really so sure. I need to research it a little bit more because it's actually quite interesting how that small community still holds true to their Cornish ways, basically, you know. I mean, language is a beautiful thing at the end of the day, you know. I feel like it should be guarded and protected, especially when it's kind of speaking on the history of your country, really. That's why I like the Welsh language so much. Because it's like one of the oldest languages in the world, even older than Sanskrit, really, and all that. Even older than Latin. It's just a surprise that not many people take the time to learn it, because it is quite difficult. I'd say it's more difficult to learn Welsh than it is Chinese. Depending if you're learning Cantonese or Mandarin. I believe Cantonese, for me at least, is much harder to understand than Mandarin. I'm trying to wonder if there's any differences with Mandarin and Cantonese. I believe it's dialect and also inflections. Although I can't see it being more of an accent, it's more like a yeah, it's got to be a different dialect of some sort. Kind of like how Ukraine has two different dialects. I believe, what is it, north and south, east and west? One of those, I'm really not so sure. I think the Kiev Ukrainian language is kind of similar to Russian, but not so much, you know? Like, I feel like there's a difference there. Either way, I need to do a little bit more research. Also, forgive me, I'm eating. I haven't eaten all day. Did you come up with that by yourself? Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take the piss, I'm sorry.
モラのためなら道徳だってきれいさっぱり捨てられるような旅団もある。中でも一
Let me
番
guess, what's their
悪名
element?
高いの
Fire?
は神王の
Already
レ
guessed.
リクスって旅団だ。
神王？エルマイト旅団のやつらにとっての神様で王様って言えば。
そう。
It's King Deseret.
あんたらはアフマルの目とやり
You
合っ
know,
た
the
ことが
guy
ある
that
って言ってた。
basically nearly fucked everything up for everyone in Sumeria.
神王のレリクスに付属する旅団の一つだ。
おお、神の缶詰知識を売ってたあの旅団だ
Oh,
な。
because he wanted to get his dick wet.
確かにいいやつら。
I mean, that's fair. An awful lot of wars have been waged in the name of
神王のレ
women,
リクス
so
はいく
yeah.
つもの似たような旅団で構成されてて、本部が上から下までを全部管理してる。本来なら奴らとは一切関わりたくないところだが、今回騒ぎを引き起こしたのはアフマルのヒゲって旅団なん
I
だ。
love her eyeshadow.
ひげ？
顎ひげのことだよ。
It's just enough to kind of darken
バカな名前だっ
the
てことは言わなくても分かっ
slits
て
of
る
her
ぜ。
eyes, basically, but
私も
not
昔
so
から
much
大
that
嫌
it's
いだからな。
over the top, you know.
だが要点はそれがクセラ、親父の旅団ってことだ。
Oh.
言いにくかったわけは少し分かってきたわ。でも彼らが一体
What didn't they
何を
do,
したの？
Dunrizard?
詳しいことはやっぱり言わないでおくよ、お嬢様。
So a lot. A lot of bad shit.
とにかく奴らはかなり多くの暴力沙汰を起こした。
I think one act is bad enough.
100件以上か。
Let's slap on a good 3 digits.
ああ、それに現場の状況もかなり凄惨だ。奴らは金品を全部奪った後、
Sorry, I read the last bit of the line and I thought that it was that, but it wasn't. Oh, never mind, we're
他の
moving
傭
on.
兵団にまで及んでる。
Strip them of what? And then I just thought, oh yeah, their belongings. Okay, cool.
モラルがないにも程があ
I
る。
mean, not cool, but you know.
この件に関して
I was thinking, oh god, you're gonna go down that route.
どう
My
いう
days.
態度でいるのかはわからないが、ここ数年奴らはますます大胆になってきてる。このまま見て見ぬふりをしていれば、私の旅団もアール村の人たちもいずれは奴らに狙われるかもしれない。親父のやつ、ここ数年一体何考えてんだ。
Money, money,
お
money.
前の親父って
Tits in the trolley.
そんなに恐ろしい
Balls in the
やつ
biscuit
なのか？
tin. Was he sitting on the grass with his finger up his ass, playing with his
前からろ
ding-ling-ling?
くでなしではあったけど、一線を越えるようなことはしなかった。
高い評価とは言えないみたいだな。
Mm-hmm.
そうじゃなきゃアフマルのヒゲを出て親父と関係を断つわけがないだろ。親父は大雑把ですごく騒がしくて適当なやつだ。毎日毎日まともなこともせずに酒を浴びるほど飲んで、
So he's a fuck boy.
それにスケベ
Gotcha.
だった。旅団の船員たちと一緒になってよく一晩中はしゃいでたよ。
うわ、悪夢みたいだな。お母様は彼らを止めないの？
残念だけど
Deal. What could she
母
do
親が誰なの
against the
か
whole brigade?
私は知らないんだ。
Ah,
ごめんなさいでした。
probably like
私そんなつ
one
も
of
りじ
those bar dancers or something.
気にしなくていいさ、お嬢様。傭兵には私みたいなやつが多いんだ。親父がスケベだって言ったろ。
Probably.
私はそうやって生まれたのさ。親父も私の母親が誰なのかわからないと言った。母親も私に
That's the
会いに
thing
来た
that I
こと
never
は一度も
understood
なかった。
about people
親
that
父はいつも
are
父さん
born
がいれば大丈
either
夫
out
だ
of wedlock
なんて言
or
ってたが、
they've been
ほとんどの
adopted
ことは旅団の
because
みんな
their
に
previous
任せ
family
て、
situation is a
親
bit
父は物語を
toxic.
語ってく
And I
れ
think
る
to
程度だっ
myself,
た。
why do you go and
でも
search them out?
親
Like,
父はセンスが本当に
I
なくて、
can't speak on
物
behalf
語
of
の
these
レ
people
パ
because
ート
I'm
リーは
not
少ないわ。
I'm not an
古くて
orphan
時代
or
遅れの
adopted
も
or
のばっかり
anything.
だわでさ。
But
砂上の勇者が
even
森
if
にい
my
る巨
mother
竜
or
を倒した
father
とか、
weren't who they
傭
were,
兵があらゆる困
I
難を乗
would
り
still
越え
see
て
them as my
反乱
mother and
軍か
father.
ら
And
姫を
yes,
救い出
my
した
father especially, like,
とか。
after all the shit he's done,
どれも
I
あ
still
り
see
き
him
た
as
り
my
な童
dad.
話だな。
Are we on good terms? Not
Ah.
really. But I
1
still
回や
see
2
him
回
as
なら
my
まだ
dad.
新鮮に
Even
感
if
じら
he
れるかもしれないが、
wasn't like my dad, if he was
10
adopted
回
and
目
all
や
that, it
20
doesn't
回目に
matter.
は
Because,
もう聞き飽
you
きてたよ。
know, my mother raised me, and even if she wasn't, you know, my mother, that's still my mum at the end of the day. So I don't see the point of having to seek that other person out. You probably want to know why, but then why is that important? You know, because it's like they either gave you up because they weren't fit to raise you, or more than likely it was probably done against their will, which can be the case, but in this day and age an awful lot of people are just going around having children left, right and centre and not realising it's a whole freaking responsibility. So yeah, those types of people are very, very young, they're very, very like lacking basically when it comes to the reality of raising children. So more than likely would not have made the best parents. So the best decision they could have made was to give the child up for adoption, basically. So it depends situation to situation. So I just don't see why opening that can of worms to this person who had adopted you, who had basically put you up for adoption. They now have their life, you're living your life. You might as well just stay living your life, you know? That's just how I think about it.
あなたの気持ちわかるような気がするわ。現実との落差を感じてしまったのね。
そうだな。でも大丈夫さ、お嬢様。もう過去のことだからな。親父と大喧嘩した後は私が出て行って、それ以来一度も戻ってない。今回調査に関わることにしたのも、親父に何か感情を抱いてるからじゃない。
That's fair.
単に周りの人を守りたいだけだ。
Why would they cause so much trouble?
仲間たちがいろんなところから情報を集めてる。報告のほとんどは暴力沙汰だが、違法取引に関するものもある。
Didn't we smuggle ourselves into Sumeru at one point? So I don't know, it feels kind of strange to say, oh, so you got to be smuggling when we did it ourselves, you know? There's a lot of crimes going on in this game that don't make sense. Hello, what's this? Something on my neck. Oh, there's a spider. Hello. It's a jumping spider. Oh. How'd it get there?
あんたまで巻き込まれる必要はないだろう。
こいつはすごいんだぞ、ドニアガード。
Sorry, I'm just
こいつとディシアが手を組
trying
めば、
to move
こんな
him.
ことはパッと解決だ。わかっ
There
た。
we go.
彼女がいてくれ
Sorry
れば。
about that. I just felt him moving along. Well, hopping along, I should say. Yeah, I'll do my best.
私はシティであなたたちからの情報を待
I'm
っているわ。
strange when it comes to spiders. Like, I don't know what it is. They just flock
心
to
配
me.
してくれてありがとな。
It's interesting. I actually have a brown recluse that's in my bathroom. Just hangs above. It's warm in there, so I just leave him there. He loves the warmth in the shower and all that.
ディシア、戻ってきたか。この二人は君の友達か？
No, we're her mortal enemies. Nice to meet you, by the way. Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you and all that. But, yeah, it's just funny that. Just very, very funny that, how he said that to me. Are these your friends? Yes, of course we are. Why would we be walking with her?
こんにちは。気楽にしてくれよ。こっちはこれといったこだわりなんてのはないからな。
How
新し
casual.
い奴らもいることだし、俺からアフマルのヒゲについて簡単に説明させてもらうよ。奴らはやり方を選ばず、自分の仲間たちを直接モラを巻き上げるターゲットにしてる。それも普通の傭兵だ
How does that work?
同じ神王のレリクスに属する旅団も
That's stupid. If they're mercenaries, why would they attack other mercenaries? Is there no honor among thieves?
そう、傭兵から価値のあるものを奪ったら、奴らは他の旅団や闇市の商人にそれを転売する。一部のモラは食料や武器と交換され、
Speaking about honor,
暴力行為に使われる。
I was
ひどすぎるだろう。
doing a bit of research actually into early 14th, 15th century duels. Or was it 17th? Yeah, it was about 17th, 18th century duels. Like with the flintlocks that they would use. You would take about 6 paces away from each other from back to back, and then turn and fire, basically. And I'm sure it was horrifying to hear that, say if you missed, you couldn't move, you couldn't do anything, you just had to wait for the other person to fire, basically. And I think on the events of a misfire happening, that still counts as a shot, so that actually did happen, I think, to a president. Was it? Not Ulysses S. Grant. Oh, I can't remember his name. But yeah, he got into a bit of a kerfuffle with someone and then ended up having a duel with them. And he broke the terms of the duel because what happened is that his misfired and then the other guy shot and it hit him like quite close to the chest. Like he was bleeding a lot and he didn't give a crap. He just reloaded his gun and then fired again and then killed him. It just goes to show you can have some really jacked up people as presidents of the United States. Case in point, Biden. Chap was far, far too old for his position. Let's be honest. I really actually was gassed when I learned that Ronald Reagan was president for a time. That was interesting. An actor being president. But turned out, it was very decent. Yeah, I mean, yeah, not everyone was great in their own way, shape or form. You obviously got some shady shit going on and all that in every president, really. As there is prime ministers, basically. Yeah, we're going through one at the moment. But, you know, it's like... I really started to like him when he was at that one rally where a balloon went off and then he just turned to the person with the balloon as it popped and went, "Miss me." Right, it was so funny. And watch out, she might be Pandora's box. You open her, she'll never close again. Oh no, by this case you can judge by appearance. She's basically a vacuum cleaner for my mood. For my mood? For my food. If you want to talk, you haven't had a haircut in God knows how long. You're greasy as fuck. Don't tell me you ain't unkempt. I mean, yeah, you're clean shaven, but I'll give you that. That's about it. I don't really like the Eremite attire. I like the colour, the burgundy brownish look of it, but the suits themselves, nah, not really a fan. Also, they are white as snow. If you lived in like this type of desert, you'd be Dehya's colour. You know? Whether she's actually black or whatever, I don't know. I don't want to get into that. But she is very tanned. You think that these Eremites would at least be tanned? Look at Paimon! Look, Paimon is as brighter than the sand back there. How is she not tanned? Come on. I know if I was stuck in like the Saharan desert, I'd probably dry up like that alien in about 3 or 4 days. Hell, just going to Egypt took me some time to acclimatise. That took 2 days for me to acclimatise to that temperature. It's not so much the heat, it's the humidity, which is why here in England, when we had that big freaking summer going on, that was like hitting like highs of 35 to 36. My god. it doesn't help that we don't have ACs. They're not very that popular because, one, it takes too much money to keep the energy on. Also, they're noisy as fuck, and they can basically build an awful lot of germs up in the ventilation system, so we just don't use them. We're basically a window open, let the air blow through type of people, you know. Or just jump in the ocean. Which is why I feel for the city folk in London. Oh? What's happening? Why are they running around? Okay, fair enough. It's like a tennis match! Left, right, left, right. Uh-huh, okay.
そんなことできないけどな。おい、あんたら。喧嘩は後にして、まずは情報をくれ。
聞いてるのか、ハラフ。先に仕事を済ませろ。俺はルートマップを書いてみたんだ。この場所で奴らが盗品を売るのを手伝ってるキャラバンを止めることができる。まずはどこかに隠れるといい。夜になれば必ず犯人も盗品も全部抑えられるはずだ。
If you're gonna betray me, just say it now so I can punch you in the face. Who's gonna do it? Is it gonna be you, or him, or is it gonna be all three of you? Fair enough. How about that tree? Well, it doesn't help that we are basically cows in a green field. We are literally just white. See nothing but white all over the field. I mean, not every cow is like that. But to have black and white as like a camouflage fur is like completely moronic. Like, I mean, I guess the black would work at night, but white even in the day would just make you stand out. Let's do this. Hello, motherfucker. No, not Og. That's Paimon, and I'm Remia.
長々説明しなくて済みそうだな。さっさと言え。アフマルのヒゲとはどういう関係だ。奴らの狙いは何だ。
モラをもらって仕事をする以上、傭兵が雇い主の情報を守るのは基本的な原則だ。俺がハクとでも思ってるのか？
Because I'm going to use your nose as a dorsal fin. So I suggest maybe telling me who your employer is.
自分の信用と評判を守りたいだけだろ。だが、商売をするには他にもいろんなものが必要だな。例えば、その手や足、そしてあんたの目。5秒だけ時間をやるよ。雇い主の情報が本当にそれほど重要なことか、よく考えてみてくれ。
It's alright, Paimon. She knows what she's doing.
冗談を言ってるんじゃないぞ。どうすれば人が一番苦しむのか、私はよくわかってるからな。残り2秒だ。
手を煩わせる必要なんてねえよ。
What are you doing? Did he just... What? He just collapsed. What happened? Oh, he bit his tongue off. All that's gonna do is just cause him to go into shock and choke. What? Oh, that's alright then.
幸い下の状況はひどくない。痛みで気絶しただけらしい。
Is that possible?
こいつと威勢を張り合うつもりだった。そこらの傭兵と同じように、苦もなくこいつから情報を
I find
聞
it
き出せると思
extremely
ってた。
difficult to hurt myself.
まさか、こんなきつい方法を使ってまで。
Even when you accidentally bite your tongue, that shit hurts. And I see people with those split tongues, and I think to myself, why? Just why? That shit hurts. Also, you can't whistle afterwards when you have a split tongue. Do you know that? Because to whistle, you have to put your tongue to the top of your mouth, like to the roof of your mouth, so then you can whistle. Or I don't know how you can do it, like you use two fingers to put it in your mouth and then whistle that way. Anything yet? You think they would get rid of any record of their employer, no?
やっぱりな。アフマルのヒゲ、クセラ、イドリシ、バシャール、ティクリッティ。どれも覚えのある。
I think any important documentation that I have is actually written down in Elder Kazdul, so only I know how to read it or write it, basically. One of the best ways of doing it. Just get yourself a fictional language, learn it, back to front, and then just write whatever important information you got on that, basically. I mean, you might have another crazy nut that might be an ultra fan in, like, Dwarven language and writing, basically, but, you know, until then, you know, you ain't gonna know any of my secrets.
なんで最後の物資輸送については金額が記録されてないんだ
Maybe because they stole this product?
ああ。それまでのすべての取引はどれも金額がはっきり記録されてる。けど最後の物資だけ配達完了っていう簡単な記載しかないんだ。
Maybe.
確かにそうかもな。でも盗品がいくらで売れるかはわからないはずなんだが。奴らは商売の時、さほど端数を気にしてないってことか
I don't know.
まあいい。次は物資の出所に関する記録だ。どれもウリンの方から来たはずだけど、あ、こんなにあるぜ。え
What?
どうしたんだ
Let me guess, your father asked for it?
さっざま、風米。
風米あ、ドニアザードの家の
What?
名前がたまたま同じだっていう可能性
What?
名字も
Tommy's
名前
Arts
もたまた
family?
ま同じなんてことあるわけないだろ。サッツァマンはトニアザードのお父様、風米家の旦那様だ。これは一体。
Okay, let's just try and get a handle on the situation first. First things first, we need to let her know, because maybe if she, would she know? I'm just thinking, because if she would know, that's suspicious.
落ち着いて情報
Yeah.
を整理しないと。ここに書いて
I
ある
mean,
ことからすると
maybe the father is just acting as like a double agent, you know, or like a sting operation type thing.
確
Like,
かなことみたいだ。
oh, I'll sell this person some stuff to smuggle, so we can then nab them across the border, you know. It's that type of thing. We don't know yet. We'll just see.
でももしこれが普通の取引なら、なんでこのキャラバンはわざわざ特定の人物から物資を購入する。キャラバン宿駅やオルモス港で直接購入できるのに。
Maybe they didn't want to be tracked, since everyone knows everyone there.
暴力や略奪行為への援助な。そしてその人物がもらった代金は返礼とみなされる。
それじゃあ動機はモラのためかでもドニアザードの家はモラに困ってなんかないだろう
わからない。
Maybe they knew about you being the bodyguard for her, and in a way, they're trying to muddy the hands of the people that you work with, so that no one will hire you or them again, as a way of keeping you away from their daughter. Maybe. It's a very backwards way of going about things, I guess. Although she's not technically her bodyguard anymore.
お嬢様がこのことを知ってるとは思えない。それに私はお嬢様のことを信じてる。 あえて私たちに隠したりなんかしないはずだ。
No, I can't see her doing that
そ
either.
したらこれからどうすればいいんだ？調査しないといけない謎がまた
We are gonna
一
have to
つ増え
tell
た
her
な。
about this. Because at the end of the day, he is keeping this from her too. More than
私
likely.
から見れば後戻りの選択肢なんかとっくにないさ。
Yeah.
大丈夫だ。旦那様とお嬢様を信じてる。結論を出すにはまだ早い。とりあえず戻ってお嬢様に会おう。
This would be such a punch in the gut if
お
she
嬢様
knew,
が協
honestly.
力してくれるかどうか。
I feel like Domizade is really the only friend that Dehya can really rely on, so this betrayal is going to cut deep if she knew anything about it. I can't see her knowing though, surely not.
でも本当にいいのか？助けてもらえなかったらただただこっちの情報を漏らすだけになるかもしれないぞ。
True.
それでもお嬢様に現在の状況を伝えたいんだ。これは友達同士の信頼さ。
Friendship don't mean anything if
お嬢様
you're
は
in a
私
war,
を
my
とても
dear.
心配してくれた。その真心に疑いと警戒で応えることはできない。それは私のやり方にそぐわない。
わかった。オイラだってドニアザードを信じたいんだ。
Well, hopefully, if she doesn't know, then we can at least back her if she ever faces her
戻るぞ
father.
スメールシティに。